All right. So you are.
My name is Christian. Let me see my last name.
My name is Dylan.
And I'm Devin.
Devin, Dylan, and Christian, and you are together
As the Homekeepers.
the Homekeepers.
The Homekeepers.
Yeah.
So how did you guys find each other?
So, I've been a musician for a long time, and I just, in October 2023, I started playing guitar. Because I was like, I really want a band, because I wanted a band for a while, and I was in some other bands as a drummer, kind of just like farting around, just like playing old stuff, but like no original stuff. But I was like, let me learn guitar, and as I started to learn it, I like looked around, like people around Calvert County, and like anyone want to like play drums, just like 2 drums, just like play some music with me, and eventually caught on. And Dylan here, I knew him for a while.
We're already friends.
Yeah, he came over one time, like when I was in my drumming primarily phase, and like he played guitar.
And then I had to leave early because I
Yeah,
was
go on.
I was dog sitting a Chihuahua, and she shit on my floor, and the Roomba drove all over the fucking. It spread it all around the living room, so I had to go home early. It was,
No, and I remember that day.
it was
I
our
remember
first practice.
I remember playing his guitar for like a second. Like I knew nothing about guitar. I only played bass, and I was like, oh, I really want to do this. But then eventually, I was with a drummer, Cadence Brooks. I don't think she'll be here tonight, but that's who I found around Calvert County to play drums with me. And once we started playing, I was like, hey, we're kind of a band now. I should come with a band name. And then at first it was the Housekeepers, but I was like, no, that's kind of like too generic because I don't want to look it up and then find other stuff. So it's like Homekeepers, and still you find like women's suffrage like stuff when you look up my band name. I don't know what that stuff is about, but like
It's not associated with.
no. Like if someone asked me, shit, like you love that feminism stuff. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, in fact, that's why I did it. You know, I could just tell them that.
Do you think the band could double as a janitorial service ever?
Honestly, that could be fire. We
I'd
just show
quit,
up in
bro.
overalls like Mario.
Do you think you'd play a set at the house? Like you could just do house shows and just disguise as cleaners.
For Halloween, we should all dress up in like little maid costumes.
Bro, I'm not dressing up in a maid costume.
Yeah, but Dylan here, he's a guitar player. So
Yeah,
like,
I was mainly guitar.
So-
and then you want.
When did you guys all start, first of all, playing your instruments? Like, what did you start on? How did you first like get into the?
So I was
whole-
mostly a guitarist, but then he wanted to do a band with him as guitarist, and he wrote all the music for.
How old were you guys when you all started?
He's like,
yeah, this was a few months ago. Homekeepers as a thing started in January,
yeah.
Gotcha.
and that was with Cadence. And then after a little bit, I was like, man, I should write original stuff. And then I started writing original stuff, and we could talk about the recording in a separate thing. But I was like, hey, Dylan, he plays guitar. Maybe he could do bass. And he had a friend named
Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney, who I remember he was like, yo, Sid wants to start a shoegaze band with all of us. And it was kind of funny because it's like, yo, Christian, you could be on guitar and it could be its own thing. And so when we showed up, and I was writing music at that time, I already had a lot of the songs written. I was like, how do we play my songs? So like it just turned into the Homekeepers. Homekeepers version 2, because version 1 was just me and Cadence. We never even played originals with that thing. What would happen is, since we were called the Homekeepers, it was like, some people can just like come into my living room and just like I could just play covers and then like make a videotape covers and all that kind of stuff. And then after a while, he came with Sydney, and like I think after that, you're like, yo, we should need a band. There was actually a video where like you were playing bass for like one like song.
It was my kind of room.
Yeah, my kind of room. So I'm a real Mac DeMarco dick rider. I've branched out.
I have some questions based off of that.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, after that, he was like, oh, just do a shoegaze band. Let's call it Shrine, because I had that name. I was like, Shrine would be a cool band name. And then after a few rehearsals, we just turned into Homekeepers.
Where
And
did Shrine come from?
I don't know. It's just kind of sounds
It's a
cool.
cool-ass
Shrine.
name.
It is. That's a
Shrine.
cool word. It's
Yeah.
a great.
Maybe
word.
we'll keep it for later. But it was like, you know, I have all these songs, and like we just started playing them. And then I went to vacation in Arizona. I think while we were there, because I was away from music in any form, so I had to be like music brain in some way. I was just doing band stuff, like figuring that shit out.
Right.
So I was like, yo, okay, we're the Homekeepers now. I'm gonna make a post about it. You know, we are the Homekeepers. So that's version 2, and
Everything's solidified on
Yeah,
social
right there.
media.
That's how it-
everyone knows that's where everything hard and material and lasting begins
that's
on
the
social
beginning
media.
of the Wikipedia page, probably. You know.
These days, yeah.
But with that lineup, it ended. I want to say probably. I guess we could say after our last show, which was June 12th. But like we rehearsed on and off some in February, I think, at Shrine, and honestly we did not rehearse until May, because that's when we got a show at Venus in Charlotte Hall.
Yeah.
And it was short notice. I don't think it was that short notice.
It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're not used to any notice of any kind for anything. So
It was our first show though, so it was,
yeah, and it was kind of funny
Right.
because you show up and it's like, it was actually really awkward. I showed up with Sydney and my girlfriend Lydia, and it was like, it was like the guy, like he opened the door, he kind of made it like he made like a weird face, like too early. He was like, oh, come in, and like we heard Cove, like the way that Venus is
No,
run.
that was a good catch. Good dog catch.
Great bug catch, Dylan. Yay! You slammed a bug.
Dylan the drummer protects the homekeepers from bugs. Great job.
We have Venus's run is you got a older dude and then the roommate, like younger girl, like they run it together, and like she was like freaking out. She's like these Philly fucks are gonna be 2 hours late because like we were playing with all Philly bands who were a lot bigger than us, but they're all like from like Philadelphia. They were driving down and they all ended up
Who were
2 hours
like
late.
some of those bands?
We had
You want to put them on blast?
shoot. I don't remember a lot of
It was just the two Philly people.
But it was interesting that we ended up being the closing band. I did not know that until like 2 days before.
Yeah.
Which is kind of worked out for them because a lot of the homies, you know, like people we know, like showed up because like, oh shit, Dylan's gonna play a show. Oh shit, Chris is playing a show. You know, because like in high school when we start a band, it's always like, I'll be there when you guys play a show, and you think to yourself, that's never gonna happen. But it actually did happen. So everyone ended up showing up, and it's really cool. We got some more shows because like it's actually happening for us. You know?
Right.
But that was the first lineup, and after that, I feel like we took a break. I tried to rehearse with everyone, but it just didn't work out. And we already knew that Sydney was going to go for college, so we started looking around for other drummers. And it's kind of funny. We had one very hypothetical drummer, one drummer that was only for one day, and then we got Devin. So we had Josh, who's actually going to be here later. He's like a producer dude around Tower. And he was like, oh, Josh, you should be the drummer, you know? You just have to play 2 drums. It's really easy. And like he was like, hell yeah, but I think he was going through some stuff. So I like asked him, are you able to do these shows? Because like this is a real thing. You know, we got, at this point, we ended up getting an email from the garage. Like, I'm going to play 9/10, September 10th. I was like, oh shit. And then we got another one, I think.
Yeah, his name was Ethan. He was like my coworker.
Yeah.
And he like, we did one practice, but then his schedule ended up being too full to like actually practice. So we had to find a new drummer. So I posted on my story, and then he responded.
That was a wild shift at work, because I was at work while all this was happening. I went into work thinking Ethan was our drummer. 20 minutes later, he's not. And then like 5 hours later, okay, Sub Rosa guitarist Devin is our drummer. Which, by the way, he has his own band. I don't know if you already said that. He has his own
This is the
band.
part where we're gonna have to start passing the phone around like individually to speak into it.
Do you,
You could just.
I got you.
You could just grab it and speak into it.
So, yeah, our current guitarist Devin, he's the. Are you lead or rhythm guitar? Is it just a guitar? Rhythm guitar. That's better for drums, right there. But he's a rhythm guitarist for a band called Sub Rosa. Yeah, and that's really cool. Like we're like actually locking in, you know. It's
you
cool
guys
just to
would say
play.
you have like a great band chemistry.
And we haven't rehearsed that much,
comes
but
easy.
I feel like we're alright. Like we're gonna do good. But yeah, I mean, that's the current lineup right now. You're intent on being a drummer for a while, aren't you? Yeah.
Sugar cookies, boys. Want some?
I'm good.
I'm good, man. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes, sugar.
Cookies.
Hell yeah. You gotta be energized, bro. You're on the skins. The skins. Devin on the skins. Yeah, I might have introduced Sydney that way. And we played it. We got Sydney on the skins. I might have said his whole name too. I think I said Sydney Daniels on the skins. Because I introduced Dylan as Dylan Edward Rock and Roll because
That was my
since he's a guitarist, since he's a guitarist, you know he has to have a solo project as well. And he's changed it now. It's Dust Head or something.
Dust Head.
Dust Heads. Yeah, hell
So
yeah.
I do have to ask, since I heard you mention the name Makeout Videotape, that was one of the first reasons I actually started listening to your band
Hell
more
yeah.
closely, because I was like, I heard the first song I heard I think was Our Tendencies. And
Oh.
I was like that sounds so much like ba 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 ba.
Yeah, hell yeah, I love that song.
Okay. And I was like,
So-
went in there and I had no idea until I was so like suspicious that was what like a big influence for
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then you said it like during conversation earlier.
Absolutely.
I was like, okay.
So my musical journey, I was a drummer when I was 12, and I was only listening to like literally for a year like the Beatles or the Who or like all these boomer bands, and I started to branch out a little bit. You know, by the time I was 15, I was like playing bass for like a few months, and like Rush, Yes, all these like Like almost every 70s band you can name, I've like
The
listened
stuff
to.
your dad got you.
Yeah, basically. And then, like, it was just bass and drums for a long time. You know, that was my old band Rover, like high school farting around band, not doing anything serious. Like, that's what I was doing. I was bass and drums sometimes, like whatever fit it. But then I think it was last year during the summer. Actually, no, let's start it in February or March. Our guitarist in that band, he was like, oh, we should play this like song. It's like kind of more new, like more hip, modern, whatever. And it was like Mac DeMarco, Freaking Out the Neighborhood. And I was like, okay, because my impression of this dude, I knew of Mac DeMarco, but like this is from like opinion from years ago. I thought he was like a stoner, like loser. I hate that guy, like for some reason. But I was like, okay, let's listen to this. And I really fucking liked it. I don't know why I thought that at some point, but like I really fucking loved it because it just sounded like he's using old gear, like the bass tone especially. I was like, that's really good bass tone, good drums. Yeah. It sounds like, and the main thing was it sounded like something I could do. I feel like I could do that. And after that point, I listened to like all his shit. So then by like the beginning of summer 2023 last year, I was like, I started learning about multi-track recording on fucking CapCut. I go on CapCut, I record drums on my iPhone, I record bass, and I was like, holy shit. Because before that, like months before that, I was fucking using my iPhone 7 on a Bluetooth speaker.
So your first like incarnation of recording and producing was not an analog
No,
at all.
I don't know why it was so. I don't know.
One interface and recording device.
Not even an interface. It was a fucking iPhone.
It's just a phone.
Yeah. I don't know how it was
Everything
so caveman.
Housed in one.
I don't know how I didn't know anything about that until so long. But like, that was that. And then, but then I discovered BandLab because I tried GarageBand. It didn't like. I was like, what the hell is this? I don't want to use a keyboard like drums. I want to record audio. So I found BandLab and I just started using that for months and months and months. And all through summer, I was just making like covers, nothing original. And it's when that Homekeepers thing started, when I first picked up guitar because, I skipped over this part. Early on in summer, I already knew about Mac DeMarco, but there was this one song on Rock and Roll Nightclub called "Only You."
Oh,
that
yeah,
one specifically.
Which is a makeup
yeah, and I
video
was like, oh my god, this sounds so much better. Why did he not make anything like this?
Exactly.
And then I like a few months after I first discovered that song, I remember like seeing online like make a video tape. I keep hearing that, so I looked it up, and there was that paper album cover, Yin Yang. I was like, okay, it was like 3 a.m. I was like, okay, let's listen to this. And
with
like
the blue pen.
And then because I'm a boy, down in it, like phasing, and I was like, holy fucking shit.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I listened to that thing like all fucking summer. Like once I heard that, I was like, I want to fucking make music. Yeah. Like I didn't know shit about guitar. I didn't know a goddamn thing. Like, but I was like, I want to learn guitar now. I want to make this noise. And in October, because once I got a job, I was able to buy my own shit. And the first thing I wanted to start buying was, at first it was amps, but then it was like, I want a Teisco bass. You know, like I keep seeing a Teisco bass and all this shit, and it sounds really good. Yeah. So like, ooh, what's that one in that one?
Where'd you get about that from? Because there's also, that's like Cure, actually. The Cure like use like Tesco pickups from like Tesco guitars and stuff.
See,
did you like where did you like tap into that vein of like knowledge from? Is it just YouTube or like something?
I think so. I think from like all my old 70s like music shit, like knowing all that, I knew of some people that they just use shitty Japanese stuff, because I knew that there was like a garage band scene in the 60s, 70s that used all those instruments, and like I thought of it as revival. It's like that's what Make a Video was, like using revival. I thought that, and when I started getting money, I was like, I want a Teisco bass. And then it turned into, I'll have a look at the guitars just to see, because it's all cheap, you know. And then eventually I found that guitar, the red guitar, the Mac DeMarco type guitar. And I was like, I really want to fucking get that. I ended up getting, I think I literally bought it on Reverb while I was in English class, just like not fucking paying attention.
And How fresh out of high school are you again?
I just graduated.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and once I got that guitar, it was instantly open D tuning. I still cannot play standard like really that well at all. I can name chords.
It's not as fun.
It's not. It feels like you need two guitars to actually have fun in that, which multi-track recording comes in. But I haven't tried to do that yet with standard. But
that would be an interesting moment.
Yeah, I might. Who knows? But I just started like
double tracking guitars and panning.
Ooh, I've already done that in this last album.
Oh wow, okay.
It's hard to tell, but
which song would that be on?
It's every song.
Every song.
Every song except The Same You. Which is, I can get in, the recording thing is its whole discussion if you want to get into that. So right now we're on the whole guitar thing. Once I got the guitar, like I started like really like.
And how old were you when you got the guitar? Because you said
I was 17.
Yeah,
17.
so you like started really recently.
And like the moment that I started, I was just learning like all the chords that Mac DeMarco uses because it sounded so good. I didn't want to be him. I never want to be him. I take an ethos that I feel like a lot of dudes take from 70s, 60s music where like, what drum kit is John Bonham using? I want to use the same stuff as him to get that sound. And I just applied it to Mac DeMarco because I liked what he made. But I find that a lot of people these days, they don't like when you do that. They're like, get a fucking original sound, you fucking...
Right, meanwhile, you have like the whole bedroom pops.
Exactly.
Like, just like everyone's silently trying to be like different and then sounding the same.
It's not, I don't want to be him. He makes good sound. I want to sound good, and his sounds sound good. So I want to use that myself because he's not using it anymore. No one's using it anymore.
Yeah. Always best to just be brave.
Exactly.
Just like,
it's because it sounds so good. You can't say it doesn't sound good. Are you gonna be at a show like with your arms crossed? This guy's a fucking copy, bro. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, people don't have time. If you're playing good enough,
yeah,
you
bro.
don't have time to think about that stuff.
But like, I started recording. At that point, it probably took. I got the guitar in October. It probably took until like November, December. I actually started recording on BandLab with guitar because I was thinking to myself, am I gonna start doing that? And once Homekeepers started being a thing with another drummer, I was like, I want to make original music so I can play this guitar and it sounds so good and sound awesome with my own shit. So I don't want to be a cover band. Because if I could be a cover band and like get around,
anybody can be a cover
band. I would do that. You kidding me? But you gotta write your own shit. And every single one of my studio works, every single song, it's all me on it. So these guys, they went through the trouble of learning all my shit. Yeah. But like all the weird shit that I do on the records, that's just me in my room. Because that's the lucky thing about being able to play all the instruments. Right. And guitar is yeah, I'm playing with myself for real. but it's kind of funny because guitar is like the instrument I'm probably the worst at. Like if I got behind a drum kit or on a bass, I'd probably be better with playing a band. But since it's my own stuff with writing, because writing is a pain in the ass to do. But since I write it all, I can play on guitar pretty well because I'm used to doing it. But
So for composing, do you guys all compose your individual music? Have you actually where do you guys? Like,
I don't think they do at all. Like you're talking about for Homekeepers or
just in general.
Their own.
What's your experience?
I think they do.
Yeah. I have like my own thing I'm working on. I have not worked on it in a while because I don't have a microphone. I gotta buy a microphone.
We tried. We recorded when I got a Tascam 244 in I want to say April or so. Like I started having him come over and like record stuff. I might have recorded over it because like a lot of it.
My tape.
It was very unfinished. Like I had he was my guinea pig to learn how to record on that thing. There was one good thing, but like we could definitely record that better. Like in a heartbeat, we could record that better.
We're too busy practicing to record stuff. And then you're in your own band?
Yeah, I'm in my own group. I write and play guitar and sing for it. It's called Sub Rosa. We just put on an album.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, for like the past 6 months, me and the band have spent like days mixing and mastering the album. So I guess that's my experience with composing stuff.
Yeah.
So when did you go when did you start with like making your own music in general?
That probably started I want to say late December. I remember the song A While. That was the first song I ever wrote on guitar. I had that rough idea like in my head probably like since like November, and whenever Josh is here, Josh, he has like a very rough version of just the guitar because I was like because like in Calvert you can't do shit except like, hey, come over, I have a guitar, I have an amp, let's do some shit. You're good at making because he's like mainly a hip hop dude or like what's
like hyper pop.
But like, hey, you got a computer to record, let's do it. And like I just like laid down like some very rough thing. It was like down, like it was like a lot faster. But I recorded that myself. Just the whole Stay a While album. I just sat crisscross applesauce on my room with the amp right in front of me, the phone. Like I'm gonna point the mic away, mic facing that way, and just like everything was recorded, no metronome. I just played the guitar. That was the first track I laid down on everything. And with A While, that was not even meant to be a thing. I was just like, okay, I have an idea. Let's just like lay it down as best I can. And it was the first take. I was just like, okay, that's mostly in time. Maybe I'll add to it. I just added to it.
The best stuff kind of happens so unexpectedly. Because that's one of my, if not my favorite, like Homekeeper song. I think that was when I got like.
What was a cat? Oh, wow. Oh, it was a raccoon. What the fuck?
Bro, it's like the Cooney cover. The Cooney poster.
You've got no tail.
The Cooney poster.
That's crazy.
That's kind of sad.
No. Way to bring down the mood.
How's you all the way up there?
That's wild. Mid interview, there's a raccoon.
Yo,
because
look,
people
Aaron,
won't
there's
be able to see
a
anything.
raccoon up
Folks
there.
at home, there's a raccoon on the
It's on the
People in
roof.
Boston.
people of Boston. There's a raccoon.
It's my first time seeing.
It's like the Cooney poster.
Yeah. I've only seen giant
There's a
rats
raccoon
here.
with no tail on the roof.
Yeah. Well, he's gone. He's gone for a while.
Yeah. Damn, he should have
Yeah.
stayed a while.
But what was I saying?
Stayed a while less.
Yeah, stay a while.
should've
man.
the same
Wait,
mood,
tell me about like stay a while less and then stay a while. Like
So stay a while
what's
less.
going on there?
So the way that I made Stay a While, I just recorded it all. I was like, okay, I'm off for work. I just recorded it all, and literally I released it like the day I finished it. Like the last song I recorded was gone.
How long did that take? Like,
The whole album, I think I started it. Let's count it as when I started the instrumental, because I made a while. It was just an instrumental, and it took a few days. I posted on Instagram. People were like, "Oh, vocals now." I have a friend from Chicago, who I think I met her literally through the Mac DeMarco subreddit. But like we wanted to make our own music that ended up not working. We made like one song together, which you could find somewhere on YouTube if I remember the name of it. But it was like, you should add vocals to it, because like she's as of right now she's like my manager of sorts. Like not really, but like she kind of gives me some wisdom, because she's part of a band called Uniflora in Chicago that plays shows like a lot. I guess there's more of a music scene down there, so that you can get away with doing that when you're still in high school, which she's younger than me. But like she was like, oh, you need to add vocals to this instrumental, and I was like, okay. So then I just did that, double track vocals, because I like double track. It's awesome. Yeah. And like the chorus especially, I was like, what do I do for this? Because it's just blank chorus. And I feel like that's the only song really where I have where it's just blank chords and I just made something cool on top of it. I want to make something like that again. But yeah, that just all just kind of came together, and every other song just kind of came about as I want to do a guitar thing. I want to use this chord a lot. This is going to be the song's thing.
Right.
Our tendency is the shape is a weird shape. I can't do my fingers. But
describe the shape.
it's like, think of it as near the nut or the capo, whatever it is. Stop laughing, bro. Stop laughing, little bro. But imagine the top three strings, you're leaving a space open, like on like the second fret. So it's like it's like X, 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 3, 4, I'm gonna say 1, like that shape.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
and it like kind of does like yeah, that kind of thing. And like every song just has a thing it does. Recorded guitar, record drums for it, record bass for it, and then wait the next day and then record double track vocals for it. And the day I finished Gone, I was like, okay, I have this distro kid thing. Let's just release it right now. I said it was gonna be Friday. Let's do it now. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait, bro. And the last minute, where I was like mastering or like mixing everything, because the way I mixed it, I just used presets, like this hodgepodge of presets on BandLab that I have no fucking idea what it is. It just sounds good. But like I put a tape preset on it, and it made it sound like more crispy and all this shit. And that's the normal version. It sounds a little more high-end kind of sounding. Yeah. And the opening song, Here We Are, I think I accidentally left off triple track vocals that are supposed to be on it. And for Stay a While Less, we're getting back into that. I really sidetracked. But but for that, I took off that preset and I mixed it like really well. Because that was a sound that I thought I was going to release. Literally like the sound you hear on the normal version, that only existed for like 3 hours before I made it. It sounded
like,
completely
wait a
different. So it's like Stay a While Less, because I wanted to do that thing where it's like, oh, I release demos or like a different version.
Yeah, you were following the Mac DeMarco.
Yeah, Mac DeMarco dick riding for real. OCD in me like wishes like it wasn't on my Spotify page, because I feel like I have too much material from like February, not enough from now. But so I recorded that all on my iPhone, everything. And then I took a break. I thought I was going to use the Fostex machine that Make Up Videotape used, because I really love that shit. I wanted to capture that as close as I could. I bought it, like $200, and it just didn't sound right. Maybe because I wasn't using the right mics, because I got a Roland mic recently. It sounded a little closer, but still. But I was like, it's not going to work. But that thing of using outboard like hardware gear with mics and all that stuff, that carried on, because I took a break from like writing a lot from like February to like I want to say like April or so. And within April I started looking at cassette recorders, because I was like, oh shit, you know maybe I always like demonized using tape. It was like it's so hard to do that, and like how can I imagine like doing that? But I was like, it's not that hard, people do that. You just plug in something in the back, you digitize it. It's really easy. So then I started looking at the 244 because obviously Mac DeMarco used it, and also I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it's like it has better EQs than the early one, the TIAC 144.
So you got a lot of stuff probably off of the Mac DeMarco's subreddit.
Absolutely.
In terms of like
Yeah,
info
absolutely.
and what to get and what you're getting into.
Yeah, he's him. I'm gonna sound so basic. Him, Tame Impala, like, and then like offshoots of the Mac DeMarco camp, like Home Shake, and I wouldn't say I never really got into Walter TV that much at all, but like all that is like my basis for how do I write music now? How would I write music that people will listen to? And I take that stuff and then all the old shit that I'm used to, 70s, 60s, Beatles, whatever the fuck, like all that kind of stuff. I just put that into my writing, and for tape, like I was like, ooh, when it came in, I was like, oh my god, actual microphone. I started using mics for real this time.
Yeah.
And like it sounded so good, and it's just so easy to sound good on tape. I feel like.
Right.
And now I feel like I'm in my tape era because I wrote and recorded on this 244. I have 2 demos that I might release somehow for the Same You, really shitty demo, and then a sort of duster version of Sunny Days, like real like DI cymbal, like
How big is like the Homekeepers backlog in terms of unreleased versus released right now?
As of Stay a While, there is none. Everything I wrote,
Right.
I wrote it on the
Everything's
spot.
out there.
Yeah, I wrote it on the spot because I wanted an EP. I was like,
Right.
I want an EP. I want
You
shit.
didn't sit on anything. You were
No.
just sort of like,
I wanted
it's
to-
here and let's get it
I
out
wanted to
there.
release music so I could play it. That's
Right.
really the only goal. But then after that, it kind of did well. Let's talk about when I posted on the Mac DeMarco subreddit. That shit really took off. I was absolutely surprised because when I got on there, I'm used to like people getting like fucking booed out of there, and kind of rightfully so. Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of shit posted on there is just ass. Like
Yeah.
that sounds mean, but like there's a reason why they're posting on there, and it's like not getting any traction. But I was like, okay, my album, I used all the makeup videotape gear to record it. You know, twin reverb, Tysco, bass, whatever the fuck. Maybe they'll like it. And like I kind of was self-aware in the description I put. Like,
Yeah.
sorry to be doing this shit, but
Sorry
maybe
to
you'll
make out videotape.
yeah,
guy,
but maybe you'll
here's
like this. And
yeah.
people really fucking liked it. And I got like a week or like a few days after that, I had 900 fucking listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that anymore. It's just that initial boost. But like after that, and that did so well, I was like, okay, now I'm not making music so I can like play it around. I'm making music for like people who probably are like, what is he gonna do next? You know, and I feel like I'm evolving. So when I got into tape, I was like, ooh, I want to make this really good.
Yeah.
So I recorded like some DI, like duster type stuff, just like to test it out. And then I had this guy, he came over and started recording some shit, kind of as a test dummy. And like midway through his stuff, I realized, I started realizing, oh wait, you're supposed to
Vocal
use,
warm-ups in the
yeah,
background.
you're supposed to use these knobs this way, so I can actually isolate a signal. Because when I was recording it, I would use remix mode. If anyone listening to this knows anything about Tascam, cassette stuff, you'll know you're not supposed to record on the remix mode because you're just going to be bouncing everything on the track you're recording on. Because let me turn the guitar up so I can hear while I'm recording. Well, that loud guitar is going to be loud on your new fucking track.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until like while I was recording him. I was like, oh look, you can hear the
You're
guitar.
like, what's going on?
Yeah, you can hear the guitar on the bass. Whoa, it's like double track, but not really. But then I was like, I figured all that shit out. So I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Time to record my own shit. Yeah. So I busted out the electric guitar. I used a Beta 58 right against the mic because I remember finding out right before I started recording. I looked up the linear notes of Rock and Roll Nightclub, and he was like, oh, he used a Beta 58. I had no fucking clue about that. And like, I bought that mic because, you know, I was sitting with some cash. I wanted to record some shit. And that was the sound. I think he probably used that on Eating Like a Kid probably.
We're gonna cut it here. We're gonna come back with the Homekeepers. You are listening to the Night Kitchen on WECB out of Boston. Right now we're in Baltimore though. It's gonna be a good show. What are you planning to do tonight out there on the stage?
We're planning to kick some ass, play some songs. You're gonna hear an electric version of a song that's acoustic on record.
Sounds good. I didn't hear a word of that. We're gonna come back.